If you want
Thank
a
you,
letter
Senator
answer, or we'll
Rosenson.
take it off. If you send it to us, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Rosen. Senator Tuberville, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for this report. Probably the most interesting thing I've read since I've been here in 3 years. And thank you for your hard work. That had to be a mountain of work with both of you and a lot of other people putting this together. In your report, you mentioned that the current plan to modernize and expand our air fueling tankers is inadequate. Could you expound on that, both of you? Say a few words about that.
Yes, sir. I mean, if we accomplished one thing, it was to bring together a lot of things that are known, but we brought them all together and put them forward in one package. So I think the report does a lot to be very clear-eyed about what our threats are and what our requirements are. And tankers are one of the shortfalls that have existed for quite a while. And the tankers are essential for both theaters. They're essential for the conventional capability. They're essential for the nuclear capability. And we just need more of them.
Especially for Indo-Pacific. You know, we need tankers that are going to be able to haul longer and carry more fuel. And unfortunately, we've got a contract out there. We can't get a decent refueler finished. And it seems like it takes forever, but that's what happens up here. We give out contracts and we can't fulfill them.
Part of it also is understanding how the tankers fit in our integrated defense planning. And that is also very important because we have to look at how we do this integrated planning, not only within the U.S., but also with our allies,
Yeah.
And how they bring these capabilities to the fight as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about workforce. In Alabama, we build submarines, ships, airplanes, missiles, you name it, we build it. And we're having to go out and hire people from McDonald's to train them themselves. I mean, and that's how bad our education system gotten. I did it for 40 years, so I've seen the decline in our education system. And a lot of these universities teach degrees that they should never even think about teaching. We should teach people how to work and how to make a living, all those things. And it really concerns me because when you're having to go to McDonald's and Walmart to hire people to teach them to weld and teach them, you know, electric work and plumbing, and this is our national security. And then you talk about the crisis with supply chain. I was in Huntsville last week at some of our missile motor factories, and huge problem of getting parts. And we think we're going to fight a war. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I hope the White House gets this. I'm sure they read this, right? I'm just asking, being new up here. They do read this report that you've given. But I keep hearing that our number one threat is not nuclear, which we all could be wiped out, it's climate change. Listen, I'm all for our climate. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for our climate. But we're printing hundreds of thousands of dollars a minute up here. Our dollar is devaluating. And we're thinking about building a new nuclear arsenal, right? And again, I'm an educator, but you got to find somewhere to find this money, and we're going to have to find it somewhere. We spent over $1 trillion, maybe $2 trillion since I've been here on climate change. You can build a pretty good nuclear arsenal with $2 trillion, I would think. So we got to get our priorities right, and it just absolutely amazes me how we don't look at priorities. And again, I'm all for our climate. And I want my kids and grandkids to have an opportunity to grow up in what we all grew up in. But again, I thank you. I don't have any, most of them ask my questions. I want to thank you for doing this and putting this all together. It's amazing. Now, as you know, it'll change in 10 years. You know, all this will change. It changes every day. But again, thank you for your hard work and dedication. And hopefully we can wake up and smell the roses here and get to competing, which we're not competing very well right now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Tuberville. Senator Warren, please.